Hey everyone, and welcome to the final episode of the one with the recapping, or as I called it, the one with the recapping, the reunion. Because why not? As usual, I am your friendly neighborhood soda, joined as always by Ben Big Fudge Rainer. Well, we did it. How do you feel?
Sad. This
Yeah.
is a top flight show for me. I'm sad to leave it behind, but grateful we have the memories.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I was so sad I started it again.
How far are you in it, by the way?
Season 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a little bit of a break to do some other stuff, but yeah, season 7 is where I'm at.
Alright. And I want to say what, but the next show we have is a pretty fun one too, so that helps.
Yeah, agreed. I was just finishing a little something there. I think it's finally done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we're gonna normally, as you can tell, we do have guests on this show, but unfortunately, well, nobody answered the call, which is really weird for a show like Friends. But c'est la vie.
Yeah. It's one of my top 5 shows, but I get it, and it has not aged well. And I don't think a lot of people would admit to being fans of it right now. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people give this show shit because it's a bunch of white people living in New York, and it's like whatever. So what?
But ain't that okay? Yeah, I want to talk about this for a second.
I'm listening.
Isn't that 95% of the shows?
Right.
Okay. Look at How I Met Your Mother. It's the same thing.
To be honest, what I think that is it's like a lot of popular things. After a while, you get a point where everybody just hates it for hating its sake. I think that's where we're at right now. To be honest, I understand. So I kind of understand because it's Friends, it's everywhere, and it's.
And to me, to completely be honest, yes, there's problematic stuff in it, like.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's no more. It's probably less problematic than a lot of other stuff you see today. So it is what it is. But yeah, so since it's just me and Ben today, we're going to do a little something different. So we're actually going to give you 3 lists. We're going to give you our top 5 all-time episodes. We're going to give you our top 5 seasons, and then we're going to do our top 5 recurring guests with it. Just realized had no women on it. Oh well, it happens.
How do you have no women on that?
Because we both agreed who was number 1, and to be honest, the 5 that I wrote, you'll understand why. You probably wouldn't be able to disagree, to be honest.
Okay, I haven't changed my number 1.
Well, you and me had agreed that we both remember.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
Man, you need more sleep, my dude. So which one do you want to go into first? And should we just get the top 5 episodes out of the way because we've already talked about them and we won't have to spend too much time?
Sure.
Okay, so you go first.
Are we doing 5 and 5 or just 5?
Let's do 5 and 5, and then we'll do a little bit of discussion afterwards.
Okay. The one with him from Corso.
So we're starting at your number 5, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one with him from Corso.
Okay. No, it's not on my list.
Really? Okay. The one where was got high.
Nope.
The last one.
Yep.
The one with the truth in London. No. The one in London. I'm sorry. The one in London.
Okay. And your number
the 100.
Okay, so we only have one in common, and it's my number 5, the last one. I have at number 4, the one with Chandler and Monica's wedding. Number 3, the one with the videotape. That's the one where they find out who came on to who. Number 2, the one with the embryos, which I'm shocked wasn't on your list.
And when on my list, I took it off because I was hoping it was on your list.
Of course. And then, of course, you know my number 1. It's the one I've said all along is my favorite episode, the one where everybody finds out.
Right. You want to start? I mean, should we?
No, to be honest, I don't think we really need to, because if any of you have been paying attention, we just spent 10 weeks discussing these episodes. So I mean, there's really not much to say, to be honest. Okay, let's go into the recurring stars. I think the seasons would be better to end it with.
Okay.
So this one we'll do it like we normally do. Okay.
Okay.
Start her off, my dude.
Nothing.
So he's not on my list.
Shame.
Yeah.
He is funny. His banter in the game, how the game treats him, how he's secretly in love with Rachel, how he hates Ross for it.
Mm-hmm.
He is an excellent supporting player in this show.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And to be honest, he probably is the most iconic supporting player. Like probably everyone else had a couple episodes. Gunther, you've had there since the beginning, even though he didn't speak his first line, I think, till like season 2. But basically, yeah, when you think Friends, you think the group and Gunther, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, and I just want to send a shout out to James Michael Taylor himself, who's currently battling stage 4 colon cancer. Here's hoping he can last a little longer in there.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, my number 5, Giovanni Ribisi as Frank Jr.
That's my number 4.
Perfect. So he's a lovable character. Like, he's dim-witted, he's incredibly dumb, very naive, but he has a heart of gold, and you look at him and say he's definitely related to Phoebe. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And Giovanni Ribisi played it very, very well. There were some interesting storylines involving him. I'm most iconically the one with Phoebe giving birth to the triplets. But yeah, overall, every time he's on, you can't help but laugh because he's always got some great moments.
It did make me sad. I understand why we didn't get more Alice after the 100th. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get more Frank Jr.?
Well, we got one more episode after that, but to be honest, here's my thinking of it, like the way I look at it. It's no different than what happened to Ben, Carol, and Susan. After a while, like, they don't really fit into the story. Like, what could you have done with that character other than, I can babysit your kids? Like, there's not much you can really go after that.
You know what I would have done? I would have had him at the wedding of Phoebe.
Okay, that is true. But you got to remember, in that setting, though, in the world, the big snowstorm, so it's possible, I don't know. That's in world setting, but yes, I agree with you. He should have been at the wedding.
And Ursula should have been there. I know
Ursula would not have fucking gone. You know that. Come on, she didn't even tell. Look at all the stuff she did to Phoebe. There's no way in hell she'd go to that.
Okay.
That's wishful thinking on that one.
Okay.
Okay, so that was your number 4 then. So my number 4, Ron Liebman as Dr. Green.
That's my number 3.
You're fucking kidding me. It really is going to be a short episode. He's a great foil for Ross. Really is, because he hates him right off the bat, calling him all the horrible names. The only way he can bond with Ross is making fun of Rachel. No, Ron Liebman was such a great choice to play this character. I'm glad he did. Trying to think what's probably the best episode. It's probably the one where they find the common bond between him and Rachel. Between him and Ross.
That's not my favorite one. Liebman episode.
Which one's yours? Is it the one where he had the heart? No, the one where he had the heart attack's pretty good.
It's good, man. And the one where he finds out Rachel's pregnant and he goes into Ross's. That
is right. That is the best episode. Yes.
You have him yelling at Ross and Wanda, played by Connie Somerville, yelling at Ross. And Ross is looking pathetic as usual. And in comes a message from Troy asking if Ross was behind sending a hooker. It is an awesome, incredible episode just starring Dr. I forget his first name.
Dr.
Green. Did they ever reveal it?
I just don't remember off the top of my head, so I'm quickly looking it up. Here, Leonard Green, which I did hear in the show.
Okay. All right.
All right. So now my number 3. Get it. This is your number 2, dude. It's Hank Azaria.
Not on my list.
Oh, thank frickin' God. This is a character we only saw 3 times in the show, but every time he left an indelible mark. We saw him in season 1, season 9, and season 10. He plays, argue, one of a potential soulmate for Phoebe. But unfortunately, when they discover each other, he has to fly to Minsk to do some research. Which brings up the great line from his second appearance. Hey, when you're in Minsk, let me know. We'll party up Vladnik style. And what's the best about it is Hank Azaria's delivery. The dude is a talented actor. It's unfortunate he hasn't gotten more recognition in the live action world, but the dude is good at what he does, and he is great at playing the scientist who doesn't quite know how to talk to women. He's one of the first recurring guest stars, and he's one of the best.
And I heard, I might be wrong, I heard he was up for the role of Chandler before they settled on Matthew Perry.
It's possible. I think I'd read that as well, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised. And it wouldn't have. That would have been different.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
Oh, it's because Matthew Perry just plays it so perfectly. It's hard to imagine anyone else doing a similar type character.
David is so good of a. David is so good of a character. If he ended up with Phoebe, I don't think I would have been mad.
No, exactly. Like, I mean, every time they were together, like, they were great together. So I'm with you. If she'd have chosen David instead of Mike, it's the way it is. But unfortunately, when you go away for 8 years, people move on with their lives. So take that as a lesson, folks. Don't go to Minsk.
And then even want to put up
Vladnik style, yes. Okay, then. What is your number 2?
Not the Richard Burke.
It's my number 2 as well. What can I say?
What?
What can I say? The dude is great as Richard. Anyways, you go ahead.
Great, straight man. Him and Monica looked so well together. I mean, he was Monica's Janice in a lot of ways.
Agreed.
Only less annoying.
That's true. But he is a really good guy.
But equally, if he ended up with Richard, I think it would have been good too.
It would have been, but if she'd had ended up with Richard, which I don't think was ever in the plans from the writers, but it's one of those, if she didn't end up with Richard, man, while it would have been great, wouldn't have been the same.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't have been different, man. I still think it would have worked. And I think it would have worked well.
It would have worked, and it would have worked well, but there's just something about Monica and Chandler where it's like they're the same. It's almost like they're the two sides of the same coin. That makes sense.
What is that line from Deadpool? Their craziness fits each other?
Yes. Basically, like, look at it this way. Richard is the mature relationship, whereas Chandler, it's always an adventure.
I mean, yeah, we all prefer Monica and Chandler. That's being clear here.
Of course, 100%.
I'm just saying, if not, Richard would have been a good, I don't even want to say second place, but yeah.
Yeah, would have good, yeah, exactly. Okay, then, so what is your number?
I'm just thinking.
No, sorry, go ahead.
In the what if episode, in season 6, do you think they made an opportunity for Monica to end up with Richard at that point? It ended up being Fat Monica.
Nope.
Okay.
Why I say this? Monica, as we know her, is far more confident than Fat Monica. You remember the reason why she's with the doctor in that episode is because she doesn't have self-esteem, so she goes with the nearest twat that would gladly be with her. Like, there's no way, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, there's no way Fat Monica would have ended up with Richard, not because of the looker thing. It's just because Monica, as that version of Monica, is not confident enough to go for a guy like Richard.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's true. Think about it. Like, think about the way she plays the character. Self-deprecating, lacking self-esteem, and the reason why she got skinny is because Chandler made fun of her.
Right. Okay. Okay. I had to ask. So I'm wondering, do we have a him number one?
It's possible, but I do want to think about something. The one where it's gotta love the continuity things in this, because the alternate universe one takes where it takes place. I'm talking about the one where like Joey still has Days of Our Lives jobs and stuff like that. That episode. The way it plays, it takes place after when Monica would have gone skinny. So it's just like, in that timeline, where was the divergence? Because Chandler makes fun of Monica for being fat the first Thanksgiving after they're in college. This episode takes place years later.
Let me ask you this. In that episode, do you remember they were already friends?
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you remember? I mean, really good. When was the moment? Because Monica never had Thanksgiving dinner with, and Chandler never had Thanksgiving dinner with them. So, well, that was a thing.
Yeah, but it's just like the whole part of the losing the toe and because that Thanksgiving episode is the impetus for her getting skinny. That's my whole point. It's just like, did the split happen way before that, to the point where he didn't make fun of her for being fat and she's still fat in the future? Like, that's my
Here's
thing.
the thing. Maybe wasn't Chandler were roommates.
Or maybe they just hadn't thought that far ahead. Which is the most likely answer, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, so it says there's a possibility we might have to say number one. On the count of three, we will both say it, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Elliot Gould.
Well, I have a government.
Okay, I prefer Elliot Gould. I prefer Mr. Geller personally over the mom, but yes. So close.
Come on, little package deal.
Okay, fine. I will fix it. The Gellers, but my personal favorite is Mr.
Geller. Do you mind? Otherwise, we wouldn't have a woman on this list, and I think we should.
It's a good point. It's just unfortunate. Because I wrote that list right before we got on air. But I was thinking about it. It's like all the females that popped into mind, they weren't recurring. They were guest spots.
How about Ursula?
Well, I mean, I didn't think of Ursula. First one popped in my mind was like Julia Roberts. Aisha Tyler would have counted. She was a recurring character. You could have thrown out Bonnie because she was in 2 episodes in 2 different seasons, technically. Terry Garr.
Oh,
a couple episodes. Yeah, the bald chick. There were some, but it's just.
Oh, I really should point out an honorable mention to Mona.
Oh, of course. The great Bonnie Cargill.
Hello, Cameron Houston.
That's right.
I would call them.
They definitely are recurring, of course.
And Julie.
And who, sorry?
Julie.
Oh, that's right. Julie from all the way back then. Yeah, I mean, you could also throw out the Mr. Heckles. You could also done the custodian, too. Like, there are a lot of recurring characters, but these are the ones that are...
Joshua.
Him? Yeah, he's recurring, but he's not the... I don't know. It's not the best.
Yeah, I know. Kathy?
Yeah. Yeah, she'd be recurring. That's right.
Yeah, now we're finding them.
Yeah, now we're finding them. But, Elliot Gould is the best. They're both the best. Christina Pickles being the pain-in-the-ass mother that none of us would want, but Elliot Gould playing the man who means well, but constantly puts his foot in his mouth. or does the most inappropriate things. Like my favorite Jack Geller thing is at the beginning of season 9 when he accidentally finds Monica and Chandler in the janitor's closet of the hospital, making woohoo.
My favorite thing involves my second favorite thing, because my first favorite thing is in the last few minutes of the one it was gets high.
Yeah,
There's that whole confession, but my second favorite thing is in season 10, the one with the cake.
Oh yeah.
When they see the cake, and he's like, "Look, Judy," and no, she's like, "Look, Jack," and he's like, "I know, the resemblance is uncanny."
Yeah. Yeah. And also, let's not forget the very first episode where we meet them is the episode that Ross tells them about his divorce. And when it comes out, they turn on Monica and go, "You knew?" Yeah.
That's great. I mean,
they have to be some of the best TV parents.
Oh, and another great Jack episode. The one where Monica's like childhood gets ruined.
Yes, because that's when we realize Jack is man enough to own up to his mistakes and show that some things are more important than cars.
And you realize he too has a secret smoking habit.
Yep. That was the 90s, early 2000s. I mean, who didn't? I did. Not at that time, but I did at one point. Cigarettes, marijuana is open, but no, I used to smoke cigarettes a long time ago. Okay, so now we are here. We're going to count down our favorite seasons of all time. I'll start on this one. I put number 6 down as my favorite season.
Oh, we're doing it that way. Okay.
Yeah. So number 6, because there are some great stuff in there. You've got Rachel and Ross dealing with the aftermath of Ross not getting the annulment. You deal with Monica and Chandler going so far in the relationship that they, at the end of the season, they decide to get married. Just a lot of good stuff in here.
That's your number 1 or your number 5?
Number 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is your number 5?
Season 7.
Okay, that actually is not on my list.
It's on my list because of the ending. Let's be real. Yeah. The ending is incredible. Monica and Chandler get married. We realize Rachel's pregnant. So we see the movie with, I forget the character's name, but with Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
And then a great season finale and a really fun season of Friends.
I 100% agree. My number 4 on that list is season number 8.
Okay, that's a good season.
Yeah. So in this season, you get the aftermath of Rachel revealing that she is pregnant. You get the one with the videotape where they find out who came on to who between Ross and Rachel. You've got them basically trying to navigate through this, thinking she's gonna, being as a single mom and what have you. We have when Monica rents Chandler a stripper because he was upset she didn't get one, that she had one and he didn't for their bachelor parties. Also, this is where Joey reveals his feelings towards Rachel. Now, this part of that story arc I prefer because it plays onto like the feelings and all that stuff. The second half of this that we get in season 10, I'm not a big fan of personally.
You mean season 9,
where they actually end up together.
Oh, I thought you meant the part where she reciprocated. No,
it's the part where they actually try to do it. It's just that part didn't feel off, but this is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't forget, season 8 also has the best game ever.
That's right, Bamboozled. Yes. Yeah. No, there's a lot of good stuff in this. Sean Penn appears in this season as well.
Sean Penn, yeah. Sean Penn.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, let's not forget the Thanksgiving episode. It's the season where Brad Pitt appears.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what is your number 4?
Season 9.
Not on my list.
Is the season with Emma is the season where we meet Rachel's other sister,
Mm-hmm.
and is the season with the male nanny.
Right?
And it is a really good season, and yeah, the season finale of this one isn't that memorable, and
Mhm.
isn't just whatever, but yeah, I like this season.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just there are some, unfortunately, some seasons have to be left off the list, right? But
Right.
there's some good stuff in there. It's just for me, it's mostly the Chandler and Tulsa thing is not I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, but how about the stuff with like a fertility doctor and
Oh yeah, no, that's right. That is true.
London?
That stuff is all good,
Yeah,
but like I said, unfortunately,
yeah,
some had
yeah.
to stay off, right?
Okay. You're number four.
My
No,
number three.
you're
My number
number
three.
three.
It's the final season, season 10.
Great season.
Not on your list.
Great. Not on my list.
So basically, I just buried the lead. It is the final season. So with this, we're going through the aftermath. Oh, well, we're going through Ross, Chandler and Monica going through adoption, finding the right person to do it, played by the great Anna Faris as Erica. You've got Danny DeVito in the episode, Phoebe finally getting married. But it is the last two episodes that really do it for me for this season. The second to last one, the one with Rachel's going away party. Just the important interactions that she gets with the cast, and all except Ross, because it's too hard for her to say goodbye, which bleeds into the final one, and Ross going to the airport to tell her how much she loves him. We find out that Erica was pregnant with twins. You didn't know it was twins? Does this look like the face of someone who knew? Yeah. No, there's just so many good things in this. It's one of the better final seasons, one of the better season series finales, because it ties everything up so neatly, and you walk out of it saying, "Yeah, that's how it should go." Yeah. So, what is your number three then?
I think my number three might be Penton if we're doing that. Season 5.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then, so my number 2 is season 4.
But
Okay, then. What is your number 2?
6.
Okay. Nice. That was my number 5. Good season. A lot of good stuff in this for sure.
I love the proposal. I love Sean and Monica moving in together. I love all the cat stars. I love, he was acting like an idiot and an asshole, but who cares as well?
Unagi.
We have Reese Witherspoon playing Rachel's sister.
Yeah.
We have Bruce Willis with a love machine.
Just a love machine. He has to be probably who would you say was more famous in terms of the guest stars they got, him or Pitt? At that point?
We're in 2 different points. That's not really fair.
It's only separated by 2 seasons. So I'm talking in the early 2000s. Who do you think was bigger, Brad Pitt or Bruce Willis? Has to be Pitt.
Yeah, I mean, when did The Whole Nine Yards come out? Is it really not around the same time?
Sorry, when did what come out?
Whole Nine Yards.
That would have been 2001. Some of that. Or no, sorry, 2000, yeah.
Yeah, it's close, but I think I have to agree with Pitt.
Yeah, if it had been a couple years earlier, I would have said Bruce Willis because of Die Hard and stuff. But Pitt was really becoming Pitt at that point.
Well, yeah, because 2001 you have
Ocean's 11. Yeah,
and
that's
that's it. Skywalker.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Yeah. Okay, then. So you're number 1, my number 2, season 4. I mean, this is really the end of Monica and Chandler's outside relationships.
Wait, no, you're number 1.
Oh, right. Well, whatever. It's my number one is your number two, and vice versa. So does it really matter?
I thought your number one was
Season 5, which is
no, my number 3.
still okay. And the only reason I was doing season 4 is because it was so close together for us.
Okay, yeah. All right, that's your number 4 then.
Yeah. Season 4, like I said, is the last season we get where Monica and Chandler are romantically involved with people that are not them. We get we get Ross's probably the most. While we were on a break is probably the most famous line. I'd have to say the most famous Ross moment is saying the wrong name at the altar.
We also get another recurring woman in this season. I forgot.
Paget Brewster in her very first TV role as Kathy, the lady who came between Joey and Chandler, which led us to the famous Joe at Chandler in a Box.
I remember to say Emily.
Her too.
I think that maybe first look on an American TV show, Hugh Laurie, who would later go out to play Hal.
Yep, that is correct. No, at that point he had a long enough career. He's probably appeared on TV before.
In America?
Oh, let's find out. What? Oh, and of course, this is the one with one of the most famous episodes, the one with the embryos, with the famous game. The famous game.
That game, I don't remember moment in that episode.
Right, it is considered one of the best shows of all time, episodes of all time, and easily one of the best episodes of Friends. So much so they replayed the game at the reunion.
Yep.
Righty. What, 2004?
No.
No. I'm talking for this episode that we're covering right now of Friends.
Yeah, that's like 01.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Why was I thinking the finale? I'm sorry.
Maybe even 2000.
No. Well, what's going on? Why can't I see it on his Wikipedia page?
Oh, I think he's uncredited.
Well, okay. So, anyways, we'll go by that point then. What did he do in the States? But then he'd done Stuart Little. There it is. Stuart Little and Friends were around the same time. The Friends episode was 1998. Duh. Mm-hmm. Well, he was in Spice World. He was one of the henchmen in the live action 101 Dalmatians. Was in Sense and Sensibility, which I don't know if that was American or British. And yeah, that's actually about it. But also, he was a cast member of Black Adder, which was a hugely popular BBC show in the 80s.
No, but I had the first American TV show.
First American TV show, but he was probably known by audiences by
that. That's why I emphasize American.
That's the first biggest American TV show he's been on. Like, I'm seeing other stuff here, but that's the first widely seen thing I would guess. Anyways,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then we might as well just talk about it. My personal absolute favorite season, number 5. This is the one. It's my favorite character arc, which is Chandler and Monica sneaking around and putting Joey's life through hell, which culminates in my favorite all-time episode, the one where everybody finds out, because it's just a game of cat and mouse between the two coalitions. Joey's like, I couldn't even tell them if I wanted to, because they don't know that we know that they know that we know that they know.
I'm not cross-eyed.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course,
the first 5 minutes of the next episode onto this episode.
I always do, yes. I always do, because it feels a little disconnected from the rest of the episode in a way. So definitely Chandler getting chased around the table by Ross, and then Ross coming to realization, they love each other. Yeah. But so more about season 5. Like I said, we got the Ross dealing with his second divorce. You got, what other ones do you have in there? You got the one, Soleil Moon Frye appearing as the girl who punches Joey consistently. The one where Rachel decides to go have a smoke with her bosses because she thought getting left out was, she felt like she was getting left out all the decisions, and it turns out that was probably the least favorite episode of everybody's in the whole series. We get, not my personal favorite actor, but definitely a decent enough recurring character, Michael Rappaport as Phoebe's boyfriend, the cop, Gary. Was also in this season.
You also get something else.
Inappropriate sister, yes.
No, look at the banner I'm putting up.
That's right. That is the season that is pivot. Yep. And of course, we got Joey going to Las Vegas because he thinks this is a big break. He gets to Vegas. Turns out the movie's on hold. Has to get done in the meantime, and then he finds out the movie's canceled, and that's where everyone goes to Vegas. Ross and Rachel get married at the very end, which snaps Chandler and Monica out of their phase of wanting to get married. So, yeah.
And Joey meets somebody very special in Vegas.
Yep, his identical hand twin, played by the great Thomas Lennon.
Who also comes back in the one with the reunion.
That's right. Yes, sir. So, Ben, final thoughts on Friends.
I love this show. I fucking love it. I'm sorry to all the haters.
Okay, here's the thing, Ben. Never, ever, ever, ever apologize for liking something.
I know. It's a bad habit I have.
That's why I'm convinced you're part Canadian. But yeah. Oh, so yeah, your thoughts again? Like, it's a great show.
Yeah, I love the show. It's perfect comfort food.
Exactly.
It's something you watch when you're feeling through. It's something you turn on. It's an easy half-hour watch.
Yeah.
Put on any episode. It's delicious.
Well, yeah, it's because at this point, that cast, those characters, it feels like you're real friends because they will be there for you when you need a laugh. And yeah, I agree with you. It is one of my favorite shows, but I got to admit, going into this, I hadn't seen it in a while, and over time, I was like, oh, maybe it's not as good as I thought it was. But then when I watched it, it's like, no, this is easily top 5. This is one of the best shows of all time.
Let me ask you, before going into the show, you didn't see the similarities between this and How I Met Your Mother. How about now?
I do now, and to be honest, I still wouldn't have seen it if you hadn't mentioned it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, only that's because once you mentioned it, and then we started watching it, it was in my mind, so I was looking for them. But if we hadn't have discussed that, I probably wouldn't have noticed.
Interesting.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. When I'm watching shows, I don't think about that type of stuff. I'm just...
I guess I'm weird. Sometimes I do, but it hit me when I was watching How I Met Your Mother, and I was like, I see this is...
But that's also the thing you got to realize was something that as so big in the cultural zeitgeist as Friends is when something that monumental happens, everything that comes after it, you're going to see the similarities no matter what. Like a lot of people, I've heard like a lot of, let's take the movie Halloween, for example. Halloween is the first true slasher movie that really made it into the subconscious. A lot of people who go and watch that original Halloween after watching everything that came after it, the original Halloween doesn't scare them anymore because they've seen it coming. They've seen that stuff. That's kind of how I guess you're kind of like that when it comes to How I Met Your Mother and Friends, is because you see everything that has been popular from one show and you do see it all over. So,
well, I mean, seriously, after this, I don't know if after this, what show did you watch first?
Friends.
Okay.
Friends. Oh, well, okay. No. Let me revise that. I started watching How I Met Your Mother the first season it aired. A couple episodes, I didn't get far. After that, I watched Friends for the first time, and then I did How I Met Your Mother in full.
Okay.
So I guess if you're talking from season end to end, it is Friends I did first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a and would you be up for a revival if they announced one?
I'd watch it, but like most revivals, I'm not something I'm asking for. Right? But I would gladly watch it, but do we need it? No. I think the reunion was the great way to end it. And you could tell the actors, while they are still very close, very, very close, you could tell they've moved on.
Yeah. And maybe some of them aren't up to it.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So next week, as usual, we are debuting a new show. Normally I give you clues, but this time I decided, because I figured out how to do things, to give you an even different tease. So this clip is from the show we are doing. If you're a fan of the show, you will know exactly what it is.
Bye, bye, little Sebastian. Miss you in the satisfaction.
Yes, we are doing Parks and Recreation, another one of my personal all-time favorite shows. But here's the beauty part. Up until recently, Ben had never seen an episode, so we are going to be doing this with fresh eyes, and this is going to be great. Parks and Rec is so amazing. Like, who doesn't love Ron Swanson? Who doesn't love Leslie Knope? Who doesn't love April and Andy? Like, this is a great show because while the characters are a little bit out there, they are still relatable.
I can't wait to talk about this with you.
Me as well, and we're going to be continuing a theme of our weird naming episodes. So we decided we're going to name this Swanson's Swanson's List of Sweatiness, Parks and Recreation, because
where is it? I know you have it. Where is it?
I had to take because it was in my work office when I quit. I had to take it home. The Swanson Pyramid of Greatness.
Nice.
Yeah. Which I will probably be bringing out if we talk about that episode.
I will say this. It's not insight to me. The way you're talking about that pyramid, I thought it was in more than one episode.
No, the one episode, but it was just one of those things that just sticks with you because of how genius it is. Do you know what's on that pyramid?
No. Well,
let's go into it as a little tease. Okay. So in this pyramid, you have things like capitalism, God's way of determining who is smart and who is poor. Rage. One rage every 3 months is permitted. Try not to hurt anyone who doesn't deserve it. Poise. Sting like a bee. Do not float like a butterfly. That's ridiculous. Body grooming. Only women shave beneath the neck. That's the bottom tier. Second tier, friends. 1 to 3 is sufficient. Property rights. They exist. Do not let them be taken away from you. Perspiration. Only sweat during physical activity or lovemaking. No emotional sweating. Crying. Acceptable at funerals and the Grand Canyon. 3. Intensity. Give 100%. 110% is impossible. Only idiots recommend that. BO. Cultivating a manly musk puts your opponents on notice. Skim milk. Avoid it. Cursing. There's only one bad word. Taxes. If any other word is good enough for sailors, it's good enough for you. Next list. Fish. Sport only. Line above that. Discipline. The ability to repeat a boring thing over and over again. Attire. Shorts over 6 inches are capri pants. Shorts under 6 inches are European. Skim milk. That's right. It's on here twice. Avoid it. Selfishness. Take what's yours. Greatness itself, the best revenge. Up to the very top, America, the only country that matters. If you want to experience other cultures, use an atlas or ham radio. And to top it all off, at the very top, honor. If you need it defined, you don't have it.
You know, when you say the Swanson Pyramid of Greatness is akin to Michael putting his foot on that quail in season 2.
How so?
This is an iconic thing for the show.
Yeah, it's possible. I probably would relate it more to Prison Mike.
Okay. Prison Mike.
I can't wait till if we eventually do The Office. That's going to be great.
Oh my God. I love The Office.
Me too. I saw Parks and Rec first, then I saw The Office. But The Office, they're both great. But we're talking Parks and Recreation next week. So weeks, hopefully we will see you all there next week.
I literally can't wait to talk about Parks and Rec.
Yeah, this is literally going to be the best recapping ever. So Ben, Ben Macklin, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Ben on Twitter, every Tuesday on Shooting Them Freeze, every Friday right here on Recapping, every Saturday on flagship show Get Ready, and also on Saturday, Map Slowdown, the show where we go into slow down players' careers. This week we are going into number 3 on the one, the only, and Twin himself, Mark and Twinkle. That's going to be a fun-ass episode.
Yes, it is. And as for myself, you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter, soda_the_saxman. You can find me over on this channel and all the shows Ben has listed. You can also find me over my other channel, Schmoes of the North, where every week me and the boys, we break down what is going on in the week of Schmodown, as well as other shows that are on there, especially Let's Talk About Star Wars, which is Star Wars show that I produced. Ben will be on with me this Saturday. I'm the behind the scenes guy, so you don't see me all that often, but I do like to wreak havoc on the show. So definitely check that out. Normally it's 6 o'clock on Saturdays, but this weekend it's 5 o'clock because we had to start a little earlier. So on behalf of myself and Ben, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and to Schmoes of the North. And we will see you next week when we break down Swanson's list of sweatiness. Don't forget, everyone, stay sweaty and smash cancer.